Hey guys, May Flom here. Thanks for tuning in, as always, here on my YouTube channel. So I'm giving a shout out to Sandy Allnock today, who is putting on a class all about gold mediums. And she's not just putting on a class. Here's the thing, guys. It's on her blog. It's free. It's forever. I know how much work it takes to pull off something like this. So I just want to give a huge shout out to her and a huge thank you for doing this, because not only is it putting out all kinds of information and education about a ton of different mediums, but it's also inspiring me. In fact, I went and shopped my stash, and I've got a couple different things here in the studio that I want to play with, and I'm going to make a mixed media tag for you here today. Now, before I get to the creating stuff, I'm really excited about that, and it's really spurring and putting to the front of my mind. I want to be doing more shout outs, more notices to you creative person, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you are maybe you just made a card you really love, maybe you're trying something new, maybe you've got a blog post that you think is the best. Would you please let me know? I would love to hear about it. All right, guys, let's get to creating. I have got a tag that I sprayed with Distress inks all stuck down here, and I've got my Prima Art Extravagance texture paste in gold crackle, and we are going to play with this here. Now, the one thing I've learned with this stuff to be very careful about is if there's any dry little crusty bits, get them out. Do not let them be a part of your paste. In fact, if when you're spreading this you happen to see some kind of a dry chunk, get rid of it. You do not want it. So I'm just spreading this, and I like a little thicker layer with the, not too thick, but somewhere between what I would butter my toast and where I would have peanut butter on a sandwich. So you can kind of see my stencil through. One of the big things I find in general with these crackle pastes, whether they're gold or not, in general, the less you mess with it, the better. The faster you're getting it on there and leaving it alone, the better you're going to be in your results. Now, here is one that I'll bring way up close so you can start to see. I used a heat tool on this, and I made sure it stayed pretty thin, and you can see a couple of things. Number one, when you use a heat tool, if you can use a heat tool on the crackle medium, sometimes it makes the cracks a little more uniform and a little less exciting. That's just something to know. Now, I wasn't having any particular expectations of that one, so that's just fine. Down here, I am going to go ahead and lift this off, and we are going to hope that everything turns out beautiful. I went ahead and tried to rush this along with the heat tool, and here's what ends up happening. And this is why with most gold mediums that are crackle, you hear a lot of advice to not try to rush it with the heat tool before the cracks naturally start forming. I dried the top layer too fast, and what happens when you get that going is you can see now I'm getting crackles because I'm bending it. So that's kind of a hack or a workaround, is that you can bend it and force your own cracks. However, you see all the ripples, how it's just like wrinkled. That's because of what I was doing. My workaround fix for this at this point in time is I'm going to dab a little bit of paper adhesive over those, because I did just force some cracks and I don't want pieces falling off in chunks. So on those bigger pieces that I had issue with, I'm just a little paper adhesive. Perfect paper adhesive is going to act as a sealant. That I can hit with a dry tool. Now, while that dries, these butterflies, that's a Prima butterfly stamp with the Delicata ink pad, the gold ink pad. I love seeing Sandy use this today because this is one of my favorite tools. This ink pad, you can put clear embossing powder over it and emboss, as I have here, and it comes out just beautiful. It's my favorite thing to do. Also on here, I've got some little gold trim, and of course my butterflies. And I'll put a little button on this other side as well. Now let's get to some more gold play. Perfect Pearls Mist in Sunflower Sparkle is an absolute favorite of mine. I just absolutely love that. And I'm going to spray just once. Okay, twice. And what this is going to do is when you see it in the light, you're really going to see sparkle. But, oops, I I spilled some adhesive on there. Whoopsie. Oh, no, I didn't. That's for the top. Sorry, guys. So you're going to get a bit of sparkle on it, but it's not going to be overwhelming. I'm also a huge fan of Heidi Swap Mist. However, I never ever squirt it. I always take the top off and flick. I like the control that I get. I like the splatter levels that I get. And I like that I never have to worry about fully getting every single little bit mixed up or anything. Don't ever have to worry about it. I just play. So these ones are phrases, which I absolutely adore. And I adore it because, guess what? You have something like this, and it's super, super fun and easy because it's already the whole phrase. And I'm going to cut this one in half because it's just kind of long. And I'm going to put this... Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put it over here. I'm also going to see if I can find a tiny butterfly metal accent or charm. I thought I had one. I'm going to put this along here. And in case you didn't notice, I totally covered up the messier area. That's something, you guys, when you're working on stenciling and pasting and backgrounds, don't stress it if it's not perfect. Because why? Because the thing of it is, when you're working on something like this, if there's an imperfect area, you're going to have some element that you can add on and fix it up anyway. I'm going to put creativity takes courage. I'm going to add this one as well. I like to have a trio if I'm going with little word strips. Either 1 or 3, that's my preference. And these butterflies on the wings, you can barely read it. It says, dare to spread your wings. So I'm going to put this one down here, and I'm going to scoot these guys up here. The perfect paper adhesive is pretty forgiving, so and it takes a little while to dry, so that means I can play around with stuff as needed, as I am here. And there we go. That was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for joining in this video today. As I mentioned before, thank you to Sandy Allnock for creating a super fun, free series of gold-inspired fun. I've got links to my blog post there on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, right below, there's a link to my blog post so you can get all the information for everything you might need. I'll see you guys next time. Happy crafting.